Welcome back, fear fiends, to another selection of dark delights from YouTube. Today's selection are from the cosmic horror subgenre.
Portrait of God is a modern, potent exploration of the Nietzschean concept of the abyss, filtered through a religious lens. The story centers on Mia, a deeply religious young student tasked with delivering a school presentation on an abstract painting titled Portrait of God, which is almost entirely a dark, empty void. The horror emerges when Mia reveals that while most people see only darkness, a small number of viewers insist they can consistently see a figure. A skinny, hunched, skeletal entity with piercing, unsettling dark eyes and a gruesome grin. These viewers have, in effect, been forced to define the unseeable divine. The narrative escalates dramatically as Mia is left alone with a projected image of the painting. The figure, which is meant to represent the created deity, begins to slowly manifest and move, terrifying her. It becomes clear that by attempting to understand or define the unknowable, she has invited it into its reality. The film culminates in a shocking sequence where the entity fully emerges from the darkness, confronting Mia not with a conventional jump scare, but with an overwhelming, light-filled, horrific revelation that shatters her sanity and replaces her comforting faith with paralyzing, cosmic dread. It is the ultimate horror of seeing your God and realizing it is a monstrous, indifferent, and utterly alien being.
Sound from the Deep is a Finnish short film inspired heavily by Lovecraft's deep-sea horrors, adding an environmental twist to cosmic dread. Set in the unforgiving Arctic Ocean, the story follows a crew conducting deep-sea surveys for an oil corporation. After exhausting legal locations, they detect an unexplainable sonar anomaly, a continuous, unusual sound, that lures them into restricted waters. The discovery they make is a chilling metaphor for environmental hubris. They find an impossibly ancient structure or entity deep beneath the ice rather than oil. The sound, initially a scientific curiosity, proves to be a signal or warning. As the crew investigates, the confined spaces of their vessel become a pressure cooker of paranoia and madness. The film meticulously builds tension, matching the physical isolation of the deep sea with the psychological terror of confronting a vast, hostile scale of existence that threatens their sanity. It suggests that some things the Earth holds should be left undisturbed, as they represent forces far older and more powerful than humanity's most advanced technology.
Quiet Apocalypse is a visually stunning, atmospheric CGI short film that depicts an invasion on Earth that is terrifying precisely because it is not a war. It is an exploration of the ultimate cosmic indifference. The world is being overtaken by gigantic, bizarre, alien entities, creatures of impossible, non-Euclidean geometry, that seem to simply be living out their existence on Earth. The film's voiceover narration captures a sense of melancholic resignation and cosmic despair. The creatures are not actively malicious or hunting humans. They are merely existing at such a scale and with such vast, unknowable needs that they destroy cities and ecosystems incidentally, much like a human steps on an anthill without a second thought. They appear to be teleporting into our dimension haphazardly, sometimes appearing confused or sad themselves. The film suggests a world where a greater, more fundamental natural law has asserted itself, reducing humanity's accomplishments and struggles to an irrelevance that induces madness and mass suicide in the survivors. It is a slow, quiet, and beautiful kind of obliteration, where survival is less about fighting and more about collapsing into acceptance of a new, crushing reality.
Nigel Cosmic Horror is an atmospheric, animated piece focusing on the journey of a colossal, grotesque entity in a vast, ruined, sci-fi landscape. The lore of the film centers on the creature, Nigel, an eldritch sentinel and dark guardian, awakened and guided by an indescribable, dark cosmic power. The Guardian's mission is immense. It is ordered by a dark force to locate and deliver a cosmic god. Nigel begins its quest within the deepest, most decayed ruins of an exoplanet called Zebrath, which serves as an effigy to a bygone era of cosmic wealth before it succumbed to failure and decay. The visuals draw heavily from the nightmarish biomechanical style of H.R. Giger and the surrealist landscapes of Zdzisław Beksinski, presenting a truly alien and overwhelming world. The short film is less about traditional plot and more about establishing a sense of deep, forbidden lore and showcasing the terrifying scale of the forces at play in this dark universe, where creation and annihilation are part of an endless cycle of recreation and the rise of a new eon.
White Walls is an allegorical and deeply philosophical animated short, recognized as one of the most direct and effective visual adaptations of pure Lovecraftian philosophy. The film presents the scenario of a man whose entire world is a white wall, representing the comforting limits of human comprehension, our willful ignorance, and the self-contained reality we construct to maintain our sanity. The story follows this man as he is slowly and agonizingly exposed to the reality that exists beyond his confinement. He catches glimpses of the cosmic abyss and the terrifying, non-Euclidean enormity that lies just outside his perceived reality. This gradual confrontation with the sheer, indifferent vastness of the cosmos, the horrifying truth that his world is a tiny, irrelevant speck, drives him to a breaking point. The film is inspired by Lovecraft's famous quote about the human mind's merciful inability to correlate all its contents, showing the visceral process of a man whose mind is tragically correlating too much, leading to inevitable madness and existential breakdown.
It Stares Back. Cosmic horror is an intense, character-focused cosmic horror built upon the famous quote by Friedrich Nietzsche: "If you stare into the abyss long enough, the abyss stares back at you." The narrative focuses on a woman who is undergoing a profound crisis of faith. Dissatisfied and tormented by her spiritual uncertainty, she takes a radical and desperate step. She directly challenges the nature of her existence and demands to see the deity she has dedicated her life to, or to see the ultimate truth of the cosmos. Driven by this intense need for certainty, she ventures into a ritualistic confrontation. The horror begins as she slowly realizes her wish has been granted. A presence begins to manifest, not the loving, benevolent figure she was seeking, but something vast, ancient, and monstrously alien. The film portrays the terror of a physical and spiritual breakdown as the deity, or entity, reveals itself, making direct, terrifying eye contact. The final moments are a dizzying descent into pure dread, illustrating the painful truth that while a glimpse of the absolute might answer all questions, it also permanently annihilates the human capacity for sanity and peace.
Beneath Silence is set in a desolate, post-apocalyptic future where the oceans have dramatically risen and swallowed civilization. This short film follows a lone survivor, a farmer, who now navigates the world in a solar-powered glider. The central concept of the film is to contrast the silence and isolation of this flooded, destroyed world with the unimaginable, terrifying noises and secrets that lie beneath the endless waves. The farmer's journey is one of immense loneliness and environmental ruin. The land is gone, and he is constantly suspended above the dark, unknown water. The cosmic horror is introduced through what is hinted at beneath the silence. The film uses sound design and atmosphere to suggest that the rising water was not a natural disaster, but perhaps a cleansing or an act of rising by something immense and ancient that now rules the deep. His simple, solar-powered flight represents the last, fragile flicker of human agency against a newly revealed, overwhelming truth, that the ocean is not empty, and its new inhabitants are entities of profound and chilling power.
The portal of our annihilation is a classic Lovecraftian science experiment gone catastrophically wrong. The film focuses on a failed quantum experiment conducted by a team of scientists, which inadvertently breaches the wall between dimensions. Instead of a controlled event, the failure tears open a portal of our annihilation, connecting our reality to a realm of cosmic horror. This is a direct take on the forbidden science and knowledge trope of Lovecraft, suggesting that human scientific curiosity, when pushed beyond certain limits, risks discovering a cosmos that is fundamentally hostile and chaotic. The short film documents the immediate, terrifying aftermath as unimaginable, non-Euclidean entities and forces begin to bleed through the interdimensional tear, emphasizing the inevitable, apocalyptic consequences of contacting the things that lie outside, where a moment of scientific overreach results in the beginning of humanity's immediate and gruesome end.
Rude is an H.P. Lovecraft award-winning short film known for its intense atmosphere and adherence to classic Lovecraftian themes of inescapable, ancient evil. While specific plot details are sparse to enhance the mystery, the film likely centers on an occult discovery, perhaps a forbidden text, a strange artifact, or a ritual site, in a remote, isolated location. The narrative typically follows a protagonist who becomes entangled in a conspiracy or curse involving an ancient, pre-human entity. The horror is built through suggestion, psychological distress, and the slow realization that the forces at play are operating on a cosmic scale that makes human resistance pointless. Rude adheres to the trope of forbidden knowledge leading to madness, suggesting that the artifact or location serves as a focus for a vast, sinister power that operates outside the laws of nature, threatening the sanity and soul of the unfortunate character who uncovers its secrets.
They Finally Found Us is an ultra-short, sharp, and impactful piece of science fiction and cosmic horror guided by the famous Arthur C. Clarke quote, "Two possibilities exist, either we are alone in the universe or we are not. Both are equally terrifying." The film's core concept is the dread of first contact, told with minimal dialogue and focusing on the moment of profound, terrifying realization. It documents a civilization that has received undeniable, final confirmation of extraterrestrial life, only to discover a hostile or, worse, completely indifferent cosmic force that has irrevocably located humanity. The horror lies in the visual representation of this vast, impossible entity's arrival, a scale and form that immediately shatters any notion of human importance or safety, confirming the worst fears, that the universe is not empty, but populated by things that view humanity as less than irrelevant, marking the sudden and absolute end of the human era. Stay tuned for the next episode where we look at Creature Features Stay Scary.